Welcome to another one of my videos. Thanks for coming. So, despite my new ominous lighting, I have decided to bring a little levity to today's video. So, I'm a funny guy. Looks aren't everything, but if you talk to any of my friends, anybody who even knows me just casually, they'll be like, yeah, Jesse might be weird and a bit of a jerk and opinionated for sure, but he's funny. Yeah, he's funny. And, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I think most of my funniness comes from being witty and in the moment. That said, I've had some people tell me that I should try to do stand-up comedy. And honestly, I really suck at telling jokes. I've tried. There's a couple of jokes that I can tell that I can do well, but honestly, stand-up comedy is just too much work. And the hardest part is to remember all this stuff and then have to act like it just occurred to you. Have you ever noticed that? They stand up there and they're like, oh, I just realized how much airplane food sucks. No. It's crafted. And then, I guess it is similar just to watching a musical performance or any other kind of artistic performance, but, you watch the same comedy bit more than once and it's just like, oh, I know this joke. So, I don't know. It's never really appealed to me, and the reason I even mention it, and it's bringing me to today's topic. I'm not going to tell you what it is quite yet, but I thought up a way to develop a stand-up bit for me, and it kind of gave me like a framework, and then allowed me to just kind of like freeform it a little bit, kind of like jazz, but with specific songs, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to try it here today, okay? I'm going to try to do this bit. I don't want it to feel like, and it's not preset, I have not practiced this at all. It just occurred to me today that this was not only a way for me to kind of practice this because I don't have anybody watching yet, but also because, it's kind of a way for me to cement these ideas out there in the world so that and I've talked to people about these ideas before, and we'll come around to what I'm talking about. It's kind of like, it's not officially copywriting it, but it is putting it out there with a date and an upload time. And if anybody does steal, I hate to say steal ideas because ideas don't belong to you. Ideas belong to all of us. The hard work that goes behind putting the ideas into implementation, that's what you own. So anyway, that besides the point, if anybody makes any millions of dollars off of my ideas, see what a contradiction I am? I do want some money. So this is kind of a way to protect myself because I have mentioned these and I don't feel like, I'm not an app developer. Oh, shoot, I just gave it away. So I put all these ideas into ideas for apps, right? And so my comedy bit was essentially talking about these apps. Now these apps, I developed them mostly as jokes. Some of them, and I've been doing this for probably 10 years now. I've got a nice little collection. I'm going to share the best of them with you here today. I might not even have time to share them all. We'll see how long this takes. There might be a part 2 of this, but I have, it's not like I'm taking these seriously. This idea comes to me and I'm like, oh, that would be a neat way to subvert part of culture that I don't like. And you'll see when I go through them what I'm talking about. I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm also a bit of an extrovert. I'm also a kind of person that likes to invert. Invert? Is that what I am? I'm an invert. Not an introvert, I'm an invert. All right, that makes the most sense. But, all right, so they are multiple topics wrapped into one. Today's topic is app ideas as comedy. There we go. See, I like coming up with original ideas. I'm not going to say that they're entirely original and that they're completely mine, that they sprung forth from my mind as completely formed. No, I see things and I see other things and I kind of collage them together and try to make something kind of unique out of them. And, you know, anyway, let me just go ahead and get started. I've spent long enough here explaining what I'm doing here. Let me introduce you to the mind of the beast regarding comedy and app ideas. So now, keep in mind, these were all developed just as raw ideas, and it wasn't until I had come up with a bunch of them that I decided that they were actually jokes. And you know, they started out as, you know, just a fun idea. I had no intention, and I still have no intention of actually making any real apps out of these. If anybody sees these and they're like, "That's gold, Jerry," you want to go and you want to run with it, and you want to open your top of the muffin, and I hope you got that joke. If you want to run with the idea and just do all the hard work and just kick me back 10%, that's all I want. You can make the billions. I just need the millions. Is that fair? All right. Well, let's get started. So, as with any jokes, or any good jokes, they all start with the dick. And I think I've got it listed here, and I've got two good dick jokes that I can start out with, and they're dick-centered apps, centered dick apps. And the first one, I have to give a shout out to a friend of mine. Now, I don't like mentioning names on here, mostly because when the leftist mob comes to, you know, stick me with pitchforks and burn my body, I don't want my friends to get involved. So I love you. This is my best friend helped me title this. I'm not going to mention her name, but she knows who she is. My first app idea is called Rolodex. Now, those of you under the age of 30 probably have no fucking clue what the hell a Rolodex is. A Rolodex was from before you had an electronic filing system and you kept phone numbers and sometimes people's addresses and, you know, just sometimes just, you know, little bits of information about them. It was like the phone book in your phone or whatever. It was the list of people's names, numbers, and information. And it was called a Rolodex, and it was on a thing of, it was a bunch of cards that were attached to a roller, and you could spin through them easily. Very useful. And so with what this developed, see why I'm not going to be a stand-up comedian? I spend too long explaining things, and the explanation is not funny. But the idea, I think, is pretty funny. So what is Rolodex? Well, I'll give you the pitch. Rolodex is a dick pic database. So I realized that, you know, dick pics, for whatever they're worth, not much. But I realized that a lot of people don't like them, and a lot of people do like them. And I noticed that there were some people that were actually collecting them. Like, they had a whole folder on their phones of dick pics, and I don't know. My imagination kind of ran wild. Like, I personally don't really like dicks. I think they're gross. I think mine's gross. I'm not that into them. I'm not that into my own. Whatever. But I do realize there's lots of money in dicks, and there's lots of interest in them. So I was thinking, you know, if I wanted to make money as an app developer, you know, or a comedian, let's just start with the dicks. It's just easy. You know, we can build from there, right? Let's start with the low-hanging fruit. Ba-dum-bum. The Rolodex is a dick pic database. What does that mean? Well, here's how it works. You get dick pics, and you're like, I wonder if that's a real dick pic. Because, come on, what's the first thing at least the first thing I thought of when I heard of what a dick pic was? I was like, well, shit, I need to start searching the internet for believable but, you know, more impressive looking dicks that are similar to mine. You know, the kind of dick pic that you could, you know, play off if you got caught, you know, using, you know, if you got caught using a dick pic that wasn't yours, you could just pretend like it was a camera trick or whatever, you know. So the whole idea of it is it's kind of like those other internet searches where you can search a photograph and you can see if the photograph's been used a bunch of times, and that kind of authenticates it. You know, if the picture isn't in the database at all, then it's usually considered authentic. Well, I mean, you could do this for dick pics, but I don't think there's a database out there that has dick pics. The whole idea of this app is that it lets you into this database, right? So first of all, you can collect dick pics and you can authenticate them. So for dick pic enthusiasts, this is perfect. You know, you can actually treat them like Pokemon or something. You know, you can collect all these different dicks, different angles. And I was thinking the software itself could have some kind of AI to kind of decide, you know, oh, this is this dick. This is dick number whatever, 137444. And, you know, regardless of what angle you shot the dick from, you know, it would have identifying scars. It would have like possible evidence of STDs. It could have, you know, you could age it. You could decide how old it was by the size of scrotum and by how much the pubic hair is trimmed. You know, women, or not just women, but anybody could take a dick pic they had taken of their favorite dick, and they could put it in the database, and then they could see if anybody else was checking out their dude's dick. You know what I mean? You could bust cheaters, you could bust liars, and you could collect these things and, you know, get points, and we'll get to that later. Actually, you could actually earn cryptocurrency. That'll be my last app that I'll discuss here. Is a dick-based cryptocurrency. We'll get there. That's my coup de grace. But yeah, so yeah, it's a. So I have to point out though that I usually don't use notes when I'm doing these videos. I like to talk off the top of my head, but I did make a list of notes for my app ideas here. You know, I just want to show you. It's not a little preview right there if you want to stop the video and read ahead. I may actually skip over one or two of these that are just not as funny or more boring or whatever. But yeah, so that's basically it. Rolodicks. Dick pic oh, sorry, that's my next one. Dick pic database, dick pic authenticator. Yeah, I think this could be very useful for whores everywhere. No, sorry, I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I mean, who else is going to be collecting and authenticating dick pics? So, my next app is the anti-Rolodicks. I don't know, that's not the title. Now, these are all working titles. Rolodicks is kind of a good finished title for an app, I think, as long as it hasn't been used, and as long as I don't get sued by the Rolodex company. Are they still around? I mean, they probably have some kind of software that does what their physical card thing used to do. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to develop it anyway. But anyway, the next app is an answer to the Rolodex problem, because I can see the Rolodex thing ruining dick pics for like almost everybody, or at least most people who do it casually. It would basically make dick pics into like a aficionado thing. The anti-Rolodex, it actually cracks that code, and it's a dick pic generator and a flatterer, if you will. Basically, it does what a lot of these social media things do with filters, and you take your own dick pic, and then you can elongate it, you can fatten it, you could circumcise it, you could uncircumcise it, you know, you could change the color and tone. You could straighten it out if it's a little crooked. You could add or subtract pubic hair. You know, you could just generate an entirely original dick out of nowhere just to mess with someone's head. You know, and the whole idea, and you could attach them to your body. I think this would be a really fun app for people with less dick wealth. Is that a thing? I don't know. It is now. All right. So those are my first two apps. You like them? You see where I'm going with this? All right. So the next, and it's funny how I'll make an app and then I kind of make like a pair to go along with it. So The next two are not so much dick centric, but you can tell I don't get laid very much, and I sit around jerking my dick, and whatever. I start thinking about things like how can I get someone else to jerk my dick? Yeah. Well, dating apps don't work. I'm not the most photogenic, and I can't really stand being a phony. Man, you should see my you should see my last. I might share that in a video one day. I might share my last dating app profile. It's quite telling. I can see from the length of time, but that this is probably going to have to be a two-parter here, guys. So the next app that I have to talk about, and now this occurred to me while I was witnessing the rampant use of another app, and I'll let you guess what I was inspired by. And so the next app, and I'll give you the title, and I'll give you a little idea what it's about, and that's the whole idea of the name. Again, this is a working title. It's called Pokaho, and this app is really fun. This app is essentially real life socialization for extroverts in a way. I mean, anybody could use it, and you could even pretend to be extroverted with it. You wouldn't even, so you don't even have to be an extrovert, but the nature of it is very extroverted. So Pokaho works like this. So I thought it was interesting that people were chasing around all these imaginary monsters and stuff, and they were in real places, and they were imaginary things that were kind of overlaid. And I was like, man, this imaginary overlaid world on top of the real world, man, how could we use this? Or how could I develop an idea using this to destroy culture? Sorry, but I kind of hate this stuff. So I wanted to do something. Hate. Yeah, I might hate it. I don't know. Told you how strong of a word I think that is, but it's definitely a strong dislike. But, people spending their real life chasing imagination, someone else's imagination, not developing their own. I just think it's big old time waster. But whatever you enjoy, spend your time on it. I like to spend my time developing my own ideas and my own imagination. But then, and creating apps like these. So Pokaho works like this. And like I said, this would be I see it being used primarily for dating and hookups, but you could use it for anything. So basically the way it works is you put the app on your phone, and there's like a hunter and a hunted. You can think of it that way. Or a base and whatever. You've essentially got a home base and then a seeker. That's probably a better, more PC way of putting this. So basically, you're the home base. You've got your little profile with your avatar and all that good stuff, and you basically you say what you're down for. It could be anything. You could be down for a game of chess. You could be down for, double anal. Whatever you're down for. And then you put a list of how many other people you want to be involved in what you're doing. And then you basically turn on your hoe light. Your hoe light is actually a beacon that says where you are physically. And this gamifies the situation. So then the seekers will then see this hoe light come on, and it'll match with what they're into or what they're looking for, and then they can seek you out. Well, as soon as that seeker gets within a certain predetermined distance from you, the hoe light turns off, and you become anonymous again. This is key. So what you could do is, say you're into whatever, you just want to smooch. You're old fashioned. You just want a little making out session at the end of the night after drinking and not having any luck. Turn on your hoe light. Someone sees your profile, they like your profile, and then decide to go check you out. They come, they get within like 30 feet of you, and then they got to figure out who you are, whatever. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of telltale thing, like you've got a blue hat or, whatever. You're actually holding up a hoe light. I could actually sell hoe lights probably, or it could even be on the app. You could be holding it up above your head. Anyway, these are all details for programmers and marketers to work out. I'm just the idea guy, okay? So what you do is, so you meet this person, and then you decide once you're in real life, in person, whether you want to engage in this activity with them that you've basically set out already. And so this also works. Now I'm old fashioned. I feel like consent is something that is usually pretty obvious, and you don't need actual words to consent to every little thing. But this app would allow you to do that. You could basically list what you're down for, what you're cool with, kissing, no kissing, missionary. Maybe you just want to play cards. Maybe you just want to get drunk but no sex. Maybe you just want to dry hump. Maybe you don't want to have any physical interaction at all. Maybe you just want to sit across the table from someone and have a fucking conversation. Now that's perverted. But basically you as the hoe turning on your hoe light, and you're saying what you're down for. So the person that is seeking you out is automatically agreeing to going no further than what you have agreed to on there. I mean, unless you want to agree to that and consent for it in person. So basically you can pre-consent to an entire list of things and then not have to go through the tedium of, can I put my arm around you? Can I kiss you on the ear? Blah, 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 blah. We can actually bring a little romance back to this with technology in a way. I did this to subvert culture, not improve it. But if it did improve culture, I mean, there's worse things I could do with my ideas. But this and then this could be for any kind of activity. Like I said, you could want to go play cards. You could, do a D&D campaign. It'd be a neat way to meet new strangers. And okay. Obviously, it's going to be kind of like blood in the water with a bunch of sharks. And you're turning the blood off, and then the shark comes over, and you decide whether you want to interact with this person or not. Once you meet them in person and you check them out, they might be gross, or they might just be full of shit, or they might just not be what you want, whatever. So you can then thumbs up or thumbs down, and essentially you thumbs up and you're like, let's go forward with the agreed upon activity, or thumbs down means fuck off and leave me alone. And so it becomes like an anti-consent. Like, no, we ain't doing shit. Fuck you, go away. Then you can decide to turn your hoe light back on, and you can continue this process over and over again. So basically, it's like, it gets rid of the bullshit from the whole dating game. It's like, what am I up to? What am I into? What do I want to do? What do I want to do right now? Do I just want to eat popcorn and watch a movie? Great, let's do that. Let's do just that. That way we're both clear as to what we want to do. And it doesn't just have to be two people. You could have your hoe light on preset for like 3 seekers, or you could still do one at a time, but then you could keep them and collect them, and you could have as many partners as you want for these activities. And anyway, that's Poke a Hoe. I hope you like it. As I describe it, I guess it's extroverted. I actually wrote that down in my notes. I hadn't even really thought about that as an extroverted activity, but, it is kind of a way for introverts to act extroverted, I guess. And whatever, it's complicated. I'm the invert, so what do you expect? All right, I see my time is running out here. I will continue this video in another episode, a part 2, my first part 2. So I'm looking forward to it. I love you, and I mean it. Until next time.